Alright, hi guys, and welcome back to another Hoya Cross Edges example solves video. Today I'm going to be doing some white, yellow, neutral example solves. So I've included third and fourth center in each example that I'm going to be doing, as that will determine which cross color I solve on. So what I can do straight away is I can make this centerpiece into a bar with these three, just like that. And then I just have this, which I'm going to bring down next to this center. And then I can make a bar with this piece and just insert it to the back. As I was doing that, I saw this and this, so I compare them up like that. Then our other center down here. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this this way round so that our free slot is above where I know our free slot for this edge is. So then I can just do an F, slice, and then just a 3R wide 2 to insert like that. So now I can see these pieces. And this is quite a nice pattern because I know that if I can insert this other edge to here and then do a U2, then this edge is going to get solved as well. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring this to here so that when I slice up like that, it makes this bar. And then if I do a U2 and slice, it creates the entire bar. And so because this is yellow, I know it's one of my cross colors, which means it will need to go onto the back. And then I will solve the center on the top, which in this case is going to be blue. And we've got quite a nice pattern here. We've got a couple of 2x1s. So I'm going to make a square using those. Just going to check if there's anything on the bottom I can use, and there's lots. So I'm going to make a square with these two and these two, which I saw already. And then just insert that into the top like that. Now I'm going to make another bar with these two pieces, and I can do these two as well. So I'm going to pair those up first. And then I'm going to do one move to make this bar, and then a U, and then insert into the back, and then cancel that last move. There we go, like that. So there we have our last bar. It's all here. I know it needs to go to the right, so I'm going to be looking out for some cross edge pieces. I see these two, blue and green, so I'll see what else comes up. I'm going to make the bar like that, and then insert. And actually, what I can see all of the green pieces. I can also see these orange. I know green needs to go in the front, but I want to preserve orange. So I'm just going to put that bar down there. So this is something quite cool we can do. We do have this flip in here, which is not ideal because this piece needs to go to here. And so that will leave a slice move gap if we solve them both, just both of those two pieces. So what we want to do is we want to pair this piece with this piece. So we can bring this to the U layer, then just slice this up like that, bring it back to the front, and now we have a nice 5x5 case because we have our midge block that's oriented. So we can do F prime, U2, F, and then R wide prime, F2, R wide, like that. And then I can see this piece as well. And if I do a D move straight away to bring orange to the front, then this is not going to be a 3 mover. So I'm going to move it to the top layer. So then when I do the D move, now it is a 3 mover, and I'm just going to insert that straight away. And now we just have one piece left unsolved, and it's back here. It's not a great spot. So what I'll just do a B2, and now we just have L wide prime, U2, L wide. And I saw there that these are red and blue. There's one of each, and the other red piece is here, but this is not the slot the red needs to go in because it's adjacent to orange. So I'll do blue first. And so what I'll do, because this is misoriented, I want to insert that separately. So I'm just going to insert this one first. And also I know that when I insert this, it's going to take out the red piece, which is good. So we've got that. We've got our other wing here, which didn't move at all. The other one is back here. So there are a couple of ways we can do this. We can just do a 3 mover here and then deal with this case. So that works. Or we could set both of these two up into the U layer opposite each other, which is probably what I'd go for in this case. So we can, bring this one to the U layer. It doesn't really matter which one we do first, as long as we put this one opposite to where this one's going to be. Then we can do an L2. And so now we have this case, which is a really nice 4 mover. So we can do F2, R wide prime, F2, R wide. Now, again, we're going to want to build the midge block into DF because we have this, which is just 1 move away, and then this, which is in the U layer, and that's misoriented. So that's going to be a 4 mover. And then now we have this case where we've got these two wings. One of them is in the front slot and it's oriented, and one of them's in the back slot and it's misoriented. And this is really not a great case at all. That's one of the disadvantages of building the midge block straight into the D layer. But there are a couple of different ways you could do this. You could solve them both one at a time, but that's not super efficient. There are more efficient ways to do that. So what you could do is solve this piece first and then actually unsolve the midge block by doing R2, F, R2. And then we don't want to insert this straight away because this will just go back to where it was. So if we do a U prime move first, we can insert this block down to here. And then this other piece is just a 3 mover from the back. The other thing we could do is we could set up to the same 4 mover as we had before, although we'll need to do R and L moves for this one. So not, like I said, not the best case. We can do L prime, R prime, and then we want the oriented one to be in the front because that's the one that we'll need to do the F2. So we do a U prime and then undo the L and the R moves. And now we just have F2, 4R wide prime, the U2, 4R wide. So either of those two last solutions are probably fine. Neither of them are great, but I think they're about equal in speed. Okay, so next up, again, I can see a lot of the yellow pieces, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that first. I can make a bar with these 3 and this one, just like that. And I know that these 2 pieces are going to make a bar as well, so I just need to find the last inner center. It's back here. Although actually now, having seen this, I can actually use both of these 2x1s, and I can make a big 2x4. This one is already made as well, which is really nice, so that will go up there. And then I can use either one of these 2 bars, whichever fits, and it's this one. So I'm going to move it in line and then slice it up like that. And then I know our last bar is back here, so I can just do an L wide to make the 3 bars like that. Now we've just got these 3, which I can pair like this, and I know that the empty slot is going to be on the left, so I'm going to set up to have this empty slot still on the left, so I can do all of this last bar 2 gen, which is nice. And so yellow is going to be our cross color center. It being 3rd center means I know it needs to be on the back as well, so I didn't have to do any extra rotations towards the end there. And I know our last center on the top is going to be red, and I can make a nice bar here. In fact, I can make a square, and I probably will do that because I can see some more 2x1s down here. So I'm going to put this in line like this to make a square there. And then I'm going to use this bar to expand it like that. And then finally, I can pair up these 2 like that, and then insert them to here to make our 2x4. Now from here, I can make 3 centers in the same bar by doing this, pair those 3 up, and then this center is the last one, so I'm going to make the bar and then insert it to the back. And here I can't pair this with this center without breaking this, so I'm going to use this to make the 3 like that. I know the last slot is on the right, so I can just slice this up, insert to the back, and then slice back down again. And here I'm going to do orange first because I can see these 2 pieces. They are separated, so we're going to need to use a slice move here, but because they're already solved relative to each other, that's fine. I'm going to insert them just like that, and then insert this piece, and then we have our last piece back here. So we can just do 1 move because it's misoriented to bring it to the top layer, and then slice it in just like that. Now we can move on to blue, and I have a couple of options going to do blue. I can either solve this, but not with an F prime because that leaves this in the U layer, but I could do R prime, F prime, R to flip it like that. The other thing I could do is I could just bring this to the U layer in 1 move and then pair them in the U layer with a slice. This is one of those cases where either option looks really good at first glance, but this is where having a good awareness of your other pieces is going to come in really handy, because as we can see, this outer wing is already solved. So if we compare these in the U layer and keep this as it is, then we're going to be already set up for a wing solved 5x5 last cross edge case, which is going to be really nice. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to do this to bring it to the U layer. And then here, if I just do wide moves, then this piece is going to get unsolved. So I'm going to do a slice move to build the block like that. Finally, our last piece is down here, and we could bring it up to this slot and then do this case, or what I would probably do in this case, because this is already opposite this side, so I can just do 1 move and then get this case, which is also really nice. Here we can do 4R wide, U2, 4R wide prime, then U2, and then the same thing again. Now we can do red, and I can see again both of the pieces are misoriented, and if I were to insert this one in one move, then this gets stuck in the front slot and it's oriented. So I will just do a U move first to bring it to the side and then insert it so that it's a 3 mover. Then we have this, this piece and this piece. And again, a couple of ways you could do it. You could bring it to the U layer and then deal with this case, which I would do from here. I would do a sledge for this piece, and then this becomes a 4 mover. But what I would probably choose to do in this scenario, because it's a bit more efficient, is to bring this to the U layer, and then because it's already opposite this slot, I can do R, U, R prime, and now we're set up for a 4 mover. F2, 4R wide, U2, 4R wide prime. And finally for green, I can see that's made these two pieces. And again, they are separated by an empty slot, so we will need to use slice moves, but they're already like this. They just happen to be like that, so it's not too bad. And again, I could align the cross and then do an F2, but that's not very ergonomic, so I'm going to instead insert it into the left, like that. And the other advantage of that is if we were to do an F2, then this piece is in the front and it's 4 moves because you need to do the U move first to bring it over here. Whereas from this angle, if we just do the L2 like that, then this is already exactly where it needs to be. So we align our cross and then we just have a 3 move slice insert like that. And then our final piece is down here. We can just do 1 move to set it up to a 3 mover and undo like that. Okay, next up we've got this, and I can see straight away we were almost got a green bar. So I'm just going to go ahead and pair this up like that. And that happens to have built another 3x1 here. So I can use this piece, can move it out of the way, and then realign it, and then bring it back down to make a bar like that. There is not too much to work with here, but I can make this and these two into most of a bar. And then again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this empty slot above these unsolved slots here, so that when I pair this piece up, I can just do a slice move to make the bar and then just insert it in 2 moves. Finally, we have this. These two are not in a great position, so when I bring this up, I'm going to separate them. So I'm going to bring it over here. And so instead of just doing one U prime move like that, which puts these opposite, which is not a good position, I'm going to do a U2 because now they're adjacent. And again, we can just pair them up just like that with no slice moves. Then finally, we've got this. And as I make this bar, I know that green, because it's not our cross color center, will want to be in the bottom. And so I'm just going to insert this straight into the bottom. But before I do that, I know because we've got orange here, green on the bottom, front needs to be white. So I'm not going to break up any of these pieces. I'm going to move this block out of the way and then insert like that. And actually that's paid dividends already because we have a very lucky case here. I can insert this just down to here and we've already got half a center done. So if we move on to the next block, we can use this edge and this center like that. And I saw this, so I'm just going to move it out of the way. I'll probably put it in the back so that I know it doesn't get broken up. Then our last bar, we've got these pieces. This will not match up with this bar straight away, so I need to use this edge instead. Make a bar like that. And then here, I'm going to make the bar and then do a U prime and then do R wide 2 to cancel into inserting the bar. Now here, because we've got 2 pieces stuck here, I don't want to try and solve this edge first because there'll be a way that I can take these 2 out and pair them with the last remaining corner center at the same time. And so that's here. So I need it to be in the back like this, and then I can do R wide 2 to take the bar out, U prime R wide 2, and that builds all these 3 pieces together. Then I can just slice this up, insert this bar, and slice back down. And I know that none of that will have affected these green pieces back here, and so I'm just going to bring those to the U layer. And then our other 2 pieces are back here, so I can solve one of them first because this is not solved, so we want to force a wing solved case because those are a bit nicer. And then I can just insert this straight away, 3 moves, and then bring this up because it's going to be a 3 mover as well, just like that. As I was doing that, I saw this block of blue pieces and this other one here as well. I'm going to pair these this block and this piece in the U layer. And although they're opposite right now, which is not ideal, we can just do a simple trigger to put them into the right slots relative to each other. So I'm going to put green at the back, then I'm going to do something like this, so that I can put this in the back again. And now I can slice this up, move these two pieces across here, slice back down, and we have our block. So the other piece that I was tracking is down here, and this is a cool thing you could do in this situation. Instead of just solving this and having to deal with the oriented block, because this is going to go onto the left, we can do a U2 to bring this to the front. And so when we do an F now, this whole block gets misoriented and it's in position for a 3-move insert. So we can just do that. Next up, I can see both the orange wings, so I'm going to do those next. And one of them is very easy to solve in just one move, and the other is misoriented. So I'm going to insert them both straight to DF like that. Then we have this piece here and this piece here, and this is a 3-mover, and this is also misoriented. So we can just go ahead and solve them separately, because we can do that in just 3 moves, and then this one in 5 moves like that. Finally, with red, we've already got one piece solved in DF. So again, I'm just going to insert this straight down, and that gives us this case. With these two outer wings, we can do F, U2, F, and now R wide prime, F2, R wide. All right, and last one for this video. I can see a few things. Here. I could do red, because I can make a square with these pieces and this, and then I have this, other opportunity for like a bar here. But I'm going to do orange instead, because I can see all of the pieces I need to make a 2x4 right now. So I can make this 2x1 and this 2x1 into an inner bar. That's going to keep these in this top face, and it's going to bring this one down to here when I put this vertically. And so then I can really easily pair this with these and then finish off the bar with this corner. So I'm going to do that, make that bar, and then this is straight away one move to just make that 2x3, and then I can just insert this, something like that. And what I can see, this is interesting. So I can see there are no orange pieces on the top face, and I also know from the order of my centers that because we've got orange here and green here, this will need to be yellow, and yellow will be our 4th center, because that way we don't have to do like a Y2 rotation or anything like that. So yellow needs to be here, and we've got a lot of yellow pieces here already. So what I'm going to do before I do any more orange, I'm going to preserve these two and this square here by making a big block there. And I'm going to put it in the same side as this these orange pieces that I've already solved, so I know they won't get broken up. Now I can see these two orange corners, so I'm going to quickly rotate up, and I can make a bar with one of these two edges. So I'm just going to go ahead and do one like that, and then rotate up, and actually all of the rest of the pieces are here. And instead of inserting this down to here, because that will break up this bar, I'm just going to do these first. So I'm going to move that out of the way, going to build those together, and then insert it into the back. And I know that that other orange edge, which was here, has now ended up on the bottom, and I'm going to bring that straight to the top like this, so that I can then build this bar and then insert it. And now I need to finish off this yellow bar here, and I know that this is not going to end up here, so we need to do a different bar, and we can build it with this edge, for example. So I'm going to pair up with a corner like that, and then insert this down to here. Now I saw this, these two inner centers were already paired up, and I can make both of these two edges into the rest of the bar by doing this. And then now I can insert this straight away into the D layer. Here I can put this bar in the back and insert this to the top, and then just build our final bar into the bottom like this. As I'm doing that, I'm just having a quick look around. I can see two orange pieces here separated by an empty slot, and then the other one is here, and I know that's going to stay in this right hand layer once I insert this bar. So I'm going to go ahead straight away and build this orange in the front like that. And then we have this piece, which we could do in the standard way. That's a bit long. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to misorient it in the back by doing a B move, bringing it down here, and now we're set up for a 3-mover. As I was doing that, I saw these blue pieces, and I know that blue needs to go on this side of orange, so I'm going to do a D2. And in this case, something to be aware of is you don't want to get your some of your pieces stuck in front slots if you can do one move to avoid it. However, in this case, because this piece is misoriented and I know that it's going to go onto the right and this piece is going to be the left-hand inner wing, I know this is going to end up as a 3 mover when I insert this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that straight away and then insert this piece. And I can see that this outer wing is going to be flipped in the D layer, and that's not a bad set of cases at all. So just going to insert it like that, and our other piece is actually right in front. And so for this case, the solution I would recommend is building these into a bar, and they're going to end up in the U layer, which is fine because now we have a choice as to how we insert it. So what we can do is we can put orange at the back, we can do a U2 and then an R2. And we don't need to worry about doing an F2 or anything like that. And it leaves this front slot open again for our next edge. And our next edge is red, and we do have one solved already. And we could, insert this, but again, it's a bit of a long solution. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to build the bar into the U layer. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I can see that I can solve one outer wing by doing an F move, and then I'm going to put this opposite to this oriented edge in the U layer, like that. And now I can build these two, make them oriented. I'm going to have to use the slice move, but that's fine here because we have now our oriented midge block. We have our solved wing here and our final one in the back here. And again, because we have no pieces here, we have an empty slot, we can just do U2 and then L, and we're nice and set up to an R wide prime F2 R wide insert like that. Finally, we have green. So I will probably just insert this piece into the front, and actually I did a D move there, but I'm not going to do that here because I want to avoid an F2. So I'm going to put this over this empty slot and do an L2 instead, like that. And now I know our last piece we can insert just like this. So we have a midge solved case, we have our block solved, and these two pieces are both misoriented. They're both really nice. We can do this one as a 4 mover, and then this one straight from the back, 3 moves. And we have our solved cross edges. So I hope this video helped. I hope you learned some stuff that you can implement into your timed and untimed solves, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.